The old farmer down the road always said the smallest things often carried the biggest punch. He wasn't talking about tractors or tools. He meant the little seeds you could barely pinch between two fingers. At first glance, they looked like bird food, something you'd sweep off the porch in the morning. But years later, doctors and nutrition experts started confirming what he already knew. Some seeds have the power to tame blood sugar, melt away stubborn belly fat, and even help a tired liver work like new. For folks over 60, dealing with creeping waistlines and morning blood sugar checks, these tiny gifts from nature could feel like a miracle hiding in the pantry. She remembers visiting her cousin in Oklahoma one summer, watching her pour a spoonful of golden brown powder over her oatmeal. "Keeps the doctor off my back." Her cousin joked, but there was truth in her words. Within months, her blood sugar readings were calmer, her jeans fit better, and that sluggish feeling after lunch? Gone. No magic pills, no expensive diet programs, just a few teaspoons of something God made long before there were pharmacies. It's strange how the simplest answers sometimes take the longest to find. There's a certain hope that comes when someone realizes their body isn't beyond repair. Even after decades of sweet tea, fried suppers, and busy years where health took a back seat, the Lord gives us second chances. And in this case, those chances might be wrapped inside 3 specific seeds, each carrying its own set of tools to fight inflammation, restore energy, and help the body let go of extra fat it's been holding on to. They're not just food. They're reminders that healing can be humble and slow, like a garden blooming in late summer. For older Americans, these seeds are not some exotic superfood you need to fly halfway around the world to find. You can pick them up at the local grocery store, tuck them into your morning routine, and begin noticing the changes in the quietest ways. Looser rings on your fingers, steadier steps when you get out of bed, fewer afternoons lost to fatigue. It's not about chasing youth. It's about feeling steady and strong enough to keep enjoying the life God's blessed you with. Over the next few minutes, the narrator will guide you through each of these 3 seeds, where they come from, how to use them, and the ways they can fight 3 of the biggest health battles facing people over 60, diabetes, fatty liver, and stubborn belly fat. And while no single food replaces proper medical care, these might just be the gentle push your body's been waiting for. So grab a notepad, settle in with your favorite chair, and let's open the cupboard to see what the smallest of God's creations can do. Number 3, fenugreek. The first time she smelled fenugreek brewing, she thought someone had spilled maple syrup in the kitchen. The sweet, nutty aroma drifted through the air, settling over the table like a cozy blanket on a chilly morning. In small southern towns, fenugreek wasn't something you found on every shelf. More often, it arrived as a curiosity, a jar gifted by a neighbor who traveled abroad, or a small bag tucked inside a church raffle basket. But in other parts of the world, this humble seed had been part of daily life for centuries, valued for its ability to calm blood sugar swings, soothe digestion, and melt away stubborn fat around the belly. For someone wrestling with type 2 diabetes or the creeping inches of age, fenugreek wasn't a miracle pill, but it was a steady companion in the fight for better health. He met an old railroad worker in Kentucky who swore by starting each morning with a steaming mug of fenugreek tea. "Keeps the belly quiet and the numbers down," he said, patting his waistline with a knowing smile. Over time, his blood sugar readings told a quieter story. Fewer spikes after breakfast, less of that dizzy slump in the afternoon. He still enjoyed his cornbread and beans, but the soft weight around his middle began to shrink, not in leaps and bounds, but in the slow, dependable way a train covers miles. Steady, sure, and without turning back. For the liver, fenugreek works like a gentle caretaker, sweeping out the silent inflammation that builds from decades of hearty eating, sweet desserts after Sunday supper, and the wear and tear of daily living. Its antioxidants help the body shift from storing fat in the belly to burning it for fuel, a small but powerful change. Older folks often stir a spoonful of the powdered seed into soups or mix it into bread dough, letting it hide in plain sight. Others prefer the crunch of sprouted seeds tossed into a salad, or even capsules for convenience. However it's taken, the seed feels both new and familiar, as if it's been waiting quietly in the background for its turn to help. Of course, every seed has its quirks. Fenugreek's special compounds can give sweat and urine a faint maple scent, harmless, but surprising the first time it's noticed. Some laugh about it, calling it breakfast perfume, while others take it as a friendly reminder that the seed is doing its work inside. It's a small trade-off for what it offers in return: calmer digestion, steadier energy, and a body that feels less weighed down. The beauty of fenugreek is not in dramatic transformations, but in the little victories it stacks up over time. A man who no longer dreads his next A1C test. A woman who can bend to tie her shoes without feeling breathless. Even the joy of walking past a mirror and catching a hint of a trimmer shape. In the hands of someone willing to give it time, fenugreek becomes more than a spice. It becomes a quiet promise that the body can still surprise us with its ability to heal. And for many, that promise is worth far more than any pill. Number 2, chia seeds. When she first saw chia seeds, they reminded her of the tiny black specks that stuck to the kitchen counter after grinding pepper. Nothing about them suggested power. But the first time she dropped a spoonful into a glass of water and watched them swell into a jelly-like mass, she realized these little seeds had a trick up their sleeve. That same transformation happens in the stomach, slowing down digestion, so the body doesn't flood with sugar after a meal. For folks managing diabetes, that gentle slowing can mean the difference between a steady afternoon and the kind of blood sugar crash that sends you reaching for the cookie jar. Here, remember the summer luncheon at the church in Waco, Texas, where one of the ladies brought glass jars filled with creamy chia pudding. It was sweetened with blueberries and a drizzle of honey, and the table buzzed with compliments. Most didn't know they were eating something rich in omega-3 fats, calcium, and magnesium, nutrients that support strong bones, calm joints, and keep the heart beating steady. That dessert wasn't just delicious. It was a small act of health disguised as a treat. The liver seems to welcome chia's presence. Studies have shown it can help lower triglycerides and balance cholesterol, making it harder for fat to build up in the liver's delicate tissues. For someone over 60, that's no small favor. The liver is like a kitchen sink that's been collecting grease for decades, and chia acts like warm water and soap, loosening what doesn't belong. And because they can expand to 12 times their weight in water, chia seeds help keep the belly feeling full, easing the temptation to snack mindlessly through the afternoon. She keeps a mason jar in her fridge filled with pre-soaked chia. In the morning, she'll scoop some into her oatmeal, stir it into yogurt, or even mix it into cornbread batter for Sunday supper. Others blend it into smoothies or sprinkle it over salads. The key, as every seasoned chia eater will tell you, is hydration. Eating them dry is like swallowing tiny sponges. They'll soak up moisture in the gut and may cause discomfort. But given the right preparation, they slip into the diet effortlessly, like a guest who knows exactly how to make themselves at home. There's something satisfying about a food that works quietly. Chia seeds don't demand you change everything overnight. They simply add up their small wins: steadier energy, fewer cravings, better digestion, until one day you realize you walked a little farther, climbed the stairs without panting, or notice your belt cinches on a smaller notch. In a world chasing quick fixes, chia is a reminder that patience still has its place, and that God's smallest creations often do his greatest work. Number 1, flaxseed. The golden brown grains of flaxseed feel smooth and cool in the palm, no bigger than the head of a pin. At first glance, they seem too small to matter, something you might sweep off the counter without a second thought. But inside each seed lies a wealth of fiber, protein, and plant-based omega-3s that rival the benefits of fish oil. Ground into a fine meal, flaxseed becomes a gentle but mighty ally for steadying blood sugar, easing digestion, and feeding the good bacteria in the gut. For someone with a fatty liver, its lignans, special plant compounds, work quietly to calm inflammation and help the body burn fat instead of storing it. She remembers visiting her sister in Arkansas one spring. Every morning, a small jar of ground flaxseed sat beside the sugar bowl, ready to be sprinkled over oatmeal or blended into smoothies. Her sister swore it was part of what kept her blood sugar in check, without constant medication adjustments. Over time, she noticed less bloating, smoother digestion, and a sense of lightness that felt like shedding an invisible weight she'd carried for years. The liver, much like a faithful farmhand, can take years of hard work and rich living before it starts showing signs of wear. Flaxseed lends a helping hand by lowering bad cholesterol and sweeping excess fat out of the bloodstream, giving the liver a chance to rest and repair. Many older folks find that starting with a single tablespoon a day, in yogurt, mixed into soup or baked into cornbread, is enough to start feeling a difference within weeks. The secret is to use it ground. The whole seeds are tough and will pass through without giving up their nutrients. There's also a comforting routine in using flaxseed, grinding a fresh batch on Saturday mornings, storing in the fridge to keep its oils fresh, and scooping it into recipes feels like tending to a small but important chore. It's simple, affordable, and requires no complicated instructions, just a willingness to make a habit. And with each day, the steady supply of fiber helps regulate digestion, while the omega-3s soothe inflammation from head to toe. Flaxseed strength is in its consistency. It doesn't promise overnight miracles, but for those who stick with it, the rewards build quietly. Steadier blood sugar readings, a trimmer waistline, more comfortable digestion, and even a lighter mood. For many, it's the missing piece that makes the rest of their healthy choices work better. And perhaps that's the greatest gift. The reminder that sometimes the road back to health starts with something so small it can slip between your fingers, yet powerful enough to change the way you feel every single day. Looking back over these 3 seeds, fenugreek with its warm maple scent, chia with its quiet, swelling strength, and flaxseed with its golden, nutty richness, it's clear they share more than just their size. Each one offers a different kind of help, meeting the body where it struggles most. For some, that means steadying the blood sugar that's been climbing year after year. For others, it's easing the burden on a tired liver or giving a stubborn belly the hint to let go. And though they're humble, they hold the kind of wisdom only nature and time can give, the same wisdom our grandparents trusted when the pharmacy was too far away and the pantry was their medicine cabinet. He thinks about the people he's met who've welcomed these seeds into their daily routine. The man in Kentucky who starts his mornings with fenugreek tea, smiling at how his blood sugar stays calm through lunch. The church ladies in Texas who turn chia pudding into a summer tradition, unknowingly helping their hearts and livers. The sister in Arkansas who keeps a jar of ground flaxseed ready beside her coffee pot, swearing it's part why she feels lighter on her feet. None of them made big, flashy changes. They simply added a spoonful here, a sprinkle there, and let time do the rest. There's comfort in knowing that healing doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. You don't need to ship rare powders from across the ocean or buy into the latest diet craze. The answers can sit quietly on the grocery shelf, waiting for someone to give them a chance. And while these seeds aren't magic, no single food is, they can become part of the rhythm that supports a healthier, stronger body, one day at a time. The same God who put strength in the oak tree and sweetness in the peach also gave these seeds their power, and he gave us the wisdom to use them well. She's seen it in her own life, the way small, steady choices can turn into something bigger, the way a little more energy makes it easier to take an evening walk, the way better digestion can lead to better sleep, which leads to better mornings. It's all connected, like the threads in a quilt, each one adding warmth and strength. That's the hope these seeds carry. Not just better health, but a better life, rich with the simple joys that make the years worth living. Before making changes to your diet, it's always wise to talk with a trusted doctor or nutritionist, especially if you're managing a condition like diabetes or liver disease. But once you have the green light, there's no reason to wait. Start small, be patient, and let these seeds work quietly in the background. May your days be steady, your steps light, and your heart grateful for the little things that make a big difference. Take care of yourselves, and God bless y'all.